again. 5-5. Episode 55 of the Purple Rain podcast with Sutton Def and Simply AS10. How are you guys doing? A lot of stuff happened today, yesterday, football stuff, boxing stuff, everything. We'll get into it. But first, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, right up there, at the Purple Rain podcast. And where can they find you, my guy Sutton?
What is up, Rain Gang? You can find me at Sutton Def on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def. You guys already know the drill. Reach out to me. Love to chop it up. I'm going to say the same thing every time, guys. But this guy, Simply AS10, you can find him on Twitter at Simply AS10 or on Instagram at simplyas10.prod. And like he said before, man, you can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain podcast. And if you want to scan that QR code that's right above my head, it'll actually take you directly to it if you don't feel like typing it in. You know, some people are lazy. You know,
we like to say time around here. If you want to,
Yeah. So, we got the Rain Gang in full effect tonight. Let's see who we have in the chat. For those of you guys who aren't watching the live stream and you are part of the hashtag replay gang, hello.
Yes.
Make sure you come and join the live stream sometime. I understand if you missed it. It's, kind of everybody's schedule is different, but yeah. So we got our guy Mod Ramey is actually in the building, nice and early. We got Void says feed the kids early. Yes, guys, like the video, housekeeping stuff. Like the video. Daquan Jones in the building. Cam Neal's in the building. Already talking about Gus the Bus. Ooh. Darius the Official is here. Big shout out to my guy Darius. Click One in the building. Yes, sir. The whole Rain Gang's in here. Pix3X TV. We got Ron TV in here. We got the Joker 811. You guys, you guys are in full effect tonight. Koizo. Okay, what's up, Koizo? How you doing tonight, man? K-Dog, Mod K-Dog says, yo, Rain Gang family. How you doing, K-Dog? Shout out to you. Thank you for joining the stream tonight. Void says, yeah, man, this is the Terrell Suggs episode. Yeah. Needless to say, a very special episode, right?
It is, of course.
Yeah. It looks like we already have a super chat donation coming in from our guy Shamil Malik. Says Gusto got a 10 mil bag and Raps got the whole package. And
Shamil did a great job of transitioning us into our first topic tonight. Why not? Let's talk about it if you want to.
Absolutely, and thank you so much, Shamil, for your super chat donation. We really do appreciate you. Real quick, shout out a couple more people who are in here. Christopher Swain's in the building. Rush is in the building as well. X Lee, Tony Hendo is here. Emmanuel Sapa's in the building. Shout out to Emmanuel. Josh Evans. Got some new faces in here tonight. Jason, really? New faces. And Mark 4, you are not late. You are right on time, my brother. Right on time. So, like my guy Alex said, we're going to go ahead and get into our first topic of the night. And I think it's the most important thing that happened today for the Ravens, right? Listen, man, in Gus, we trust. Obviously, man, because the Ravens went out and extended Gus Edwards 2 years, 10 million, not 10. Wait, was it 10 million?
Yeah, it was
10 million. Yeah,
steal.
10 M's.
Call it what it is. A steal.
10 M's. And let's just get this out of the way, man. If there's anybody who deserves it, it's Gus Edwards. And not even just talking about because of his production on the field. You got to look at look at his story, man. Coming from like Liberia, he lived in basically a hut, at 5 years old, and made it all the way to the NFL, and now he's making millions. Big shout out to Gus Bus, man. He's our guy, man. We're rocking with him.
Beat all the odds because I know he was at University of Miami, transferred to Rutgers, undrafted free agent. He came in, I think his first game was against the Titans in 2018 when Flacco was still quarterback. Made a staple under when Lamar was quarterback, and has averaged 5 yards a carry in his whole career. So, he literally beat all the odds, and nobody deserves this more than him. 100%.
Nobody deserves it more than him, man. Nobody. Big shout out to Gus Edwards. Real quick, we have another super chat donation coming in from our guy, the Joker 811. Big shout out to the Joker. He says, check both of you guys' Twitter DM for some major heat. I just checked it, and he actually sent us a picture of a Rashad Bateman jersey that he has. Looking very clean. Very clean. And big shout out to our guy, the Joker 811. Big. Man, I'm planning on getting a Bateman jersey. I don't like to do rookies so soon, but
you feeling that good?
I'm feeling that good. Good. So big shout out to you, the Joker. We appreciate you so much, man. But Gus Edwards, man. Gus Edwards, how did you feel? What was your initial reaction to just knowing the fact that we're going to have Gus for at least 2 more seasons?
Amazing, because He's a starter on 22, I'd say, to 32 teams, 100%. I think he'd be their number one, without a doubt. I mean, if he'd be a starter on the reigning Super Bowl champions, the Buccaneers, I'd take Gus over Fournette, 100%. I mean, look what they've done, and look at the attitude, too. That's the big thing. Gus, think about also what he's been through. He was in a 4 running back room his rookie year because we had Ty Montgomery, Alex Collins, Kenneth Dixon, and then Gus. Yeah. And then the next year, Mark Ingram, draft Justice Hill. So it's like you were the only guy left over from that room, and we get 2 more guys. Then we draft J.K. Dobbins, and he still has produced all through that, which is actually crazy. So, like I said, he deserves it so much, but it just goes to show, like, we're keeping our homegrown guys here, which is absolutely big. I love it. I mean, and 2 years, 10 mil. You're telling me $5 million a year for him? That's a steal, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, Shamil Malik says, Alex, I see you hitting that gym.
Bro, I'm just running. I just run and get my endurance up. I've not been hitting it, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Ramey said Bateman got Sutton's approval. He's going to look like Jerry Rice year 1. Hey, man, I hope so. I honestly hope so. But yeah, man, like you said, Gus Edwards, I think the biggest thing, well, the thing that I like the most about us bringing Gus Edwards back for at least 2 more seasons is that it's gonna work out really well for J.K. Dobbins and the rest of our offense as well. Like you said on the last episode, they complement each other very, very well.
Perfect.
We talk about a thunder and lightning with Patrick Queen and Malik Harrison. The real thunder and lightning that we have on our offense is J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, because J.K. Dobbins can fly. We know what he can do. We know what his skill set is, but Gus Edwards is just that thunder, that hard hitting, that thud. Once you're worn down, he's going to run all over your defense, that sort of guy. Yeah. And he also showed a lot of ability in pass catching last season, which was huge for us. That
was his biggest knock, I'd say, is the catching out the backfield. He did it. He did it like amazing contested catches. Would catch the ball, truck you.
Right, yards after the catch. It was crazy, man. He really had a very good 2020 campaign. He really did. And hopefully this year we can see more of him being utilized in the offense. I would say earlier on in games, like just not situationally. I don't want to see us use Gus situationally. I feel like he's too good of a player for that, And now that we're paying him more money, I feel like he will see a more prevalent role in this offense. You agree?
100%. And then speaking of just like, I see Shamal brought up the closer. That it was 3rd and 1 against the Titans. He looked like he was stopped at the line of scrimmage, but he got 6 yards out of it.
Yeah.
And I look at it too. When you look at running backs like Ezekiel Elliott, when they're given the ball so much and they have so much wear and tear, it catches up to them. It does. So I think keeping Gus will also just extend both him and JK's career, which I think is perfect all around. I mean, that's why we're looking at Zeke. Right now. We're like, Zeke is like, okay, is Zeke progressing? No, it's the Cowboys have relied on him so much.
Yeah.
Like his legs, that's what happens.
Like having a bell cow back is not a good thing.
No. And I'm worried that although it is our rivals, I can see Najee Harris, the same thing happen to him. They better get him some help, get number 2. Not like a starting caliber, but a guy who can just maybe come in for a drive or 2. Just take some just tread off of them, because it'll wear down a player easily, and we see it too much.
Yeah, man, you're absolutely right. Let's see. Our guy, we got a comment from K. Markso Sparksdro. Says Gus and Dobbins' attempt numbers aren't even as high as they could get in a full season. I mean, you're right, and of course some of their attempts get taken away because we do also have Lamar Jackson, who has his design runs. But hey, man, and like K-Dog says, Gus is like our Derrick Henry. He's like our Derrick Henry, man. And I would love to see us using him a lot more. And I think Christopher Swain brings up a good point here. He says, I love that Gus is a north and south runner, but he also has some elusiveness as well. His footwork is very underrated. That's also a fact, man, because he can turn a corner on guys. He can definitely turn a corner on guys.
Did against the Giants,
Right. But most importantly, he's that running back that on 2nd and 4, 3rd and short, you can hand it to him up the middle, and he's going to at least gain positive yards. He's always the type to fall forward. He never really gets pushed back. I've only seen that happen like a handful of times, if that.
I saw in one game and one game only against the Eagles when their line was just disgusting. And I saw another Ramey. Todd Gurley is the prime example of why you don't want to be so heavily relied on. He barely played in the Super Bowl. They had to get CJ Anderson off the street to help them go through the playoffs. And Gurley was an MVP candidate a year or two before, and then just to see him barely get any playtime, it's just crazy. And then we still have Justice Hill. So we still have 3 running backs that all do something different. But Gus, I think he's leading in a couple of those categories, and obviously JK is too. But I think Justice Hill will make the team strictly on special teams, just bringing up the all running backs.
I see a very interesting comment here coming from our guy Ron TV. Big shout out to you for joining the stream tonight. He says, I want to see us cut down on the Lamar designed runs and let our running backs run wild. So what do you, Alex, think of that, and the rest of the chat? What do you guys think of Greg Roman and this offensive coaching staff cutting down on Lamar's runs and just letting our running backs do the running?
I would agree, but you still want him to be a factor where they have to worry about. Right. You don't want it to be like just up the middle, and like I don't want to see it where Lamar just doesn't even try to be a decoy, because then they can just game plan on one person. That's what makes both of them so good, Gus and JK, is that you have to worry about Lamar Jackson. So there's not 11 people coming after you. It's maybe 9 or 10.
Yeah, and the Ravens offense, they really specialize on, like you said, just giving you something to worry about, having those threats. You remember when when Hollywood and Mark Andrews used to do the touchdown celebrations where they would do like the rock paper scissors. Like which one do you want? Do you want this to happen? Do you want us to get you in this way, or do you want us to kill you that way? I think we definitely do need to keep those threats alive and well, because the threat of Lamar Jackson running, it opens up so many more lanes, so many more opportunities for other players, for our wide receivers, for our running backs, especially J.K. Dobbins on the outside, Gus Edwards up the middle. There's a lot of things that, benefit from Lamar Jackson running the football. Christopher Swain says, I agree. Lamar's runs are great, but we have 2 running backs. Agreed, Alex. Defenses should have to worry about 3, maybe even 4 potential runners: Lamar, Edwards, Dobbins, and sometimes Duvernay reverses. And bringing up 2 to 3 runners, potentially 4. That 2-point conversion after Lamar threw it to Hollywood against the Browns, he had Gus Edwards lined up to his left. They had J.K. Dobbins lined up in the slot. They motioned him back. As he's motioning, they snap the ball, and it's like a stretch play to J.K., and there's people you got to worry about Gus, got to worry about Lamar. And what does J.K. do? Take it around and just absolutely truck Sendejo. Actually gave him a concussion. Yeah. So just the threat of all these guys is just such a headache for defensive coordinators. How do you stop this, or how do you game plan around it without – it has to be perfect if you want to stop it, kind of like how Wink Martindale was against Derrick Henry. Yeah, absolutely right about that, man. And it really just seems like we're seeing what the Ravens want to do. The offense is going to be super, super potent next season. Not only did we go out and, bolster down the offensive line, which Gus Edwards is also going to benefit from, J.K. Dobbins as well. But then the passing game has jumped leaps and bounds from where we were last year, just on paper, at least. Sammy Watkins, bringing in Rashad Bateman, coaching as well. That's all huge things that are just going to play a part in how good this offense is going to be. And we talked about it in the last episode. Go up and make sure you check that one out too, why the Ravens offense is going to be so deadly next season. All right, so even without Julio Jones, even without him. Even without him. And we'll get to Julio Jones later. We'll talk about that later. Yeah. Christopher Swain also says, exactly, what do we do? Do we load up the box? Do we give Lamar a spy? But that might open up the middle if Lamar rolls to his left, right? Very hard to come up with a game plan to stop Lamar Jackson. Exactly. When you have so much to worry about, you really, you get confused, and like it's a headache. Right. It's such a headache, especially it's already bad enough knowing that, like, okay, Lamar could run the ball. They could be handing it up to middle to J.K. Dobbins, or it could be a play fake and Hollywood could be going deep. Mark Andrews could be coming. And this is like from the perspective of like a linebacker, because I think linebackers, they have to read the play and assess the play the quickest. That's just what I kind of get from defenses, but they have to assess the play the quickest. So I think you're really going to have linebackers flat-footed and thinking twice a lot. Not to mention that, like, before damn near every play that the Ravens run, there's somebody in motion. So that's just one extra thing to worry about, you know? So I'm just loving what we have going on paper with this Ravens offense so far. And the Gus Edwards news was just spectacular for me.
Yeah.
And let's see.
Just made it even better because we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Right.
We have him locked down this year and 2 more years, I believe. Because I think he's already locked down this year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. All right. Can't wait until Brandon Lewis says can't wait until preseason. We low-key had a offense overhaul. Yeah, man, and we're gonna get to see a nice little preview of it in the preseason as well. So, you know, I'm so excited for that. We're still a little less than 100 days away from football season, so very excited.
It's not like it was from 2018 to 2019, like that type of overhaul, but it's still a haul nonetheless. Like I know we lost our whole receiving core from 18 to 19, new running back, man, new and different receivers. I don't even look at these receivers as the ones we had the past couple of years. I'm looking at them in a whole different way. I'm looking at the line in a whole different way. The running backs now, because having JK and like just the starting, you know how many, I believe it was rushes, against the Chiefs last year? You know how many he had? 1. And it was on a design pitch. 1.
Man.
The Chiefs haven't seen J.K. Dobbins.
You're right. And you know what I really think now that you mentioned that Chiefs game, and you wonder why, like, okay, why did J.K. Dobbins only get 1 carry? Why did we only run the ball?
Why did Gus Edwards have 3 carries for 28 yards?
Right. Like, come on, man. Why do we run the ball like less than 10 times? A lot of it has to do with game script, guys. You know, we get down and then we kind of get thrown out of our game plan and we end up having to become a team that we're not. But now the good thing is we have the offense. We have the tools, the weapons, the pieces on offense in order to, no matter what game script is put in front of us, we can compete. You know, so if we're down 2 or 3 possessions and Lamar needs to throw the ball around the field, we have the receivers who can go out and get it. We have the offensive line that can block and give him enough time, you know. Or if we just need to lean on teams with the run game, we can do that too. So we can go both ways. Get you an offense that can do both. And that's what the Ravens is, man. Yeah. So, all right. Let's see what else you guys have here about the Gus Edwards thing. Let's see. Shamil Malik says, Sutton off topic. What do you put in your beard? I want my beard to be that long. Man, I really don't put anything in it. I just, soap. I use Dr. Bronner soap. That is what I will say. It's pretty good. But I think it's mainly just genetics. My dad has a long beard. So, yeah, there you go.
Subtle flex. Subtle.
All right. So, let's see. Ron TV actually says, anybody else see Blake Griffin just poster Giannis? I forgot the Nets versus Bucks game is on right now. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely got to check out the highlights for that after this. Christopher Swain says, I thought our O-line was really good. We were the number one ranked rushing team in the league for the 2nd year in a row. Yeah, I mean, our O-line could be better, especially with pass protection. The snaps are going to be a huge thing.
Yeah.
That's another thing with game script, man. We would get behind and then snaps would just start going all over the place. So, hopefully we don't have that issue again with Bradley Bozeman starting at center.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed. All right. And Adit Mahmood, our guy Adit Mahmood checking in for the night. Big shout out to Adit. Says, keyword for this offseason is efficiency with passing and rushing. We need to be able to stack positive plays on top of each other and dictate the pace and margin of the game. Extending Gus helps. Yes, absolutely. Because
that word efficiency.
Efficiency.
That word.
Yeah.
You can throw. How many times did Lamar Jackson throw against the Titans in the playoffs in 2019? You remember how many it was?
How many?
59. How many times did he throw for against the Rams on Monday night?
How many?
20.
Oof.
He threw 5 touchdowns on 20 attempts. That word, efficiency. Because Gus, Mark Ingram, they were doing their thing.
Yeah.
Now you can go ahead. I'm just saying, I just love that word, efficiency. People think that passing attempts matter. They don't. It's what we do. How do we get in these positions for him to throw 5 touchdowns? Oh, we were in the red zone. We scored, I think, on all of our drives but 1 or 2 that game.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to you, I think.
And I think that, like you mentioned, the red zone, we were not as good in the red zone in 2020, nearly as good as we were in 2019. And I think, with a better offensive line which we're hoping. Okay, we know that the offensive line, we have to see them in action first, but on paper, it does look like it is going to be better than what we had going on last season. But in the red zone, I think having a guy like Gus Edwards, it definitely does help. It definitely does help, man, because, again, just that threat. And, I also said, I think a couple episodes ago, Mark Andrews is going to feast this season in the red zone because we have so many weapons.
You said top 2 not to. I remember that.
I said top 2 not to. Yeah, I said that, and I'm sticking by it, too. But real quick, we have another super chat donation coming in from our guy, Darius the Official. Yes. And as a matter of fact, as promised,
pulls up 3-pointer. Bang!
Okay.
It's good.
Okay.
It's good. In the clutch. You already know, man. Darius the Official in the clutch with the super chat donation. Big shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much. He says, glad we got the Gus bus for 2 more years. We got that dynamic duo, and I love it. Hopefully we cut down on Lamar runs, too. And that fight, though. That fight, yeah. We'll definitely get into that as well.
We were DMing about that fight last night. It was Yeah. We'll talk about that. I mean, but who isn't happy we got Gus for 2 more years? And then if you can just extend Lamar's career, it's a win-win all around. Right.
So, thank you so much, Darius. We appreciate you, bro. So I think we can go ahead and segue topics now.
Yes.
Okay. We can go ahead and segue topics into another signing that the Ravens made today. Bringing in a little bit of extra help at offensive tackle. Yeah. Alex, you want to kind of review what happened today with this?
Yeah, so we signed former Broncos and Dolphins, former first-rounder, Julio Jones. He tore his Achilles in April. Not expected to play this upcoming season. Signed a 2-year, $9 million deal. Now listen, you see these numbers. Well, why couldn't that go to Julio? Why couldn't we trade for him? Oh, my Siri popped up. My bad. 2 years, $9 million. He's making $500,000. He has a $500,000 signing bonus. I think $350K base salary, and then it's heavily incentive based. Come on, I mean it's just a really smart signing by EDC. What he could actually be is Alejandro Villanueva's replacement for next year, depending how he plays, the type of level he plays at. But there's only injury concerns. I think he's only played in like 19 games in the past 3 years, or 9 games, one of the two. So it could be depth, it could be a starter, but either way, low risk, very high reward.
Yeah, definitely low risk. I looked at some of his stats. 2019 was the last time he played like at least the majority of a season. He allowed like 7 sacks. Had a pretty decent amount of penalties, which I didn't really love. But like I said, very, very low risk here. We're not paying him a bunch of money. Worst case scenario, we'll be out of $500,000 come a year from now or so, which is fine, But if this is, I think this is a move that could definitely hit. It could definitely hit in the long run. Like you said, he could end up being Alejandro Villanueva's replacement because we're only going to have him on a 1-year deal, essentially. So I could see this working, but have you seen any tape from Julio Jones?
I didn't even bother looking. I was too busy happy about Gus Edwards.
But, I mean,
So put in perspective, it's a 2-year, $3.5 million deal.
Right.
For a former first-round pick.
Yeah. And Spencer the Real is actually coming in with another super chat donation coming in the clutch. We got to run it back for you, bro.
Bang! Bang! It's good.
At the buzzer, clutch. Our guy, Spencer the Realist, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. He says that O-line will be dope. Very underrated signing. And, I like the depth. Of course, he's not going to play this year. But I like what we're doing here. We still have Tyree Phillips, big country. Maybe he develops, whatever. But, like you said, low risk and high reward.
Okay. I actually just looked up. So when he was healthy, he was productive enough to catch a 4-year, $51 million deal from the Broncos in 2019. There was a knee injury his first season, 3 games, and he opted out last season. So he must have been good enough to get that type of contract.
Yeah.
Which, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Broncos were thinking, but 2-year, 3.5 compared to 4-year, 51 mil, I'm 100% cool with it.
And did you hear about like the grievance that he's filing against the Denver Broncos? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like apparently he had tore his Achilles like training, but not at the Denver Broncos facility. So after that happened, they were like, okay, we're not going to give you the money that we promised, and we're going to cut you. And that's what happened. So, filed a grievance against them, and, whatever. But that it is kind of messed up. The Broncos did just kind of say, like, screw him for real, and just kind of let him go by the wayside, which kind of sucks for him. And I'm sure he'll be probably playing with a chip on his shoulder whenever he does come back. And what better team to play with a chip on your shoulder than the Baltimore Ravens, man?
I'm cool with that.
Cool with that, right? We're cool with that. But like we said, guys, very low risk. I know a lot of us want us to go out and sign a pass rusher or Justin Houston, this and that. But, hey, guys, we can still continue to build depth on this offensive line. As long as it's not costing us an arm and a leg before we go into the season, we're cool with it, right?
Yeah, I'm cool with it. You're cool with it.
Yeah.
You guys cool with it? I hope so.
Yeah. Bruh says, I like that they are prioritizing protecting Lamar. Facts. Big facts.
And I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe we could take an offensive lineman with our first-round pick next year, depending how the season goes.
Yeah.
Depending who we re-sign. I mean, O-lineman is never a bad pick in the first round, depending who you get. The Titans took an offensive lineman last year. Didn't work out, but that's the NFL. But you never know.
Yeah, you never know. You never knew. Let's see. Cam Neal says, it's a cheap move and it's genius if he's healthy, which he can be. I recovered from tearing my Achilles in 8 to 9 months. I think Eric DeCosta knew that signing him would help his treatment, rehab, and recovery. Also very possible. And big shout out to you for that insight.
Yeah.
I've never torn my Achilles, so
Neither have I.
I wouldn't know. But you say 8 to 9 months? Not too bad. Not too shabby. So we'll see how his recovery process goes. In the meantime, our guy Don C is in the house. Says, what's up, Alex and Sutton?
What's going on, Don?
What's up, Don C? How you doing, man? Appreciate you for joining the stream tonight. All right, let's see. Bryce H says, I just want Justin Houston. Yeah, man. Don't we all? Don't we all? We all want that veteran.
And there was a clip of Justin Houston talking to Lamar after the game last year. Did you see that clip?
No, I didn't.
It was just like because he saw him the rookie year when he was still playing for KC, kind of just saying like, I knew you were going to be this good, this and that. If you knew he's going to be that good, come and play with him.
Yeah,
why not?
Come win a ring.
Come and see.
Come and Let's win championships, man. All right, so let's keep it moving here. Yash Patil says, "Sup guys? What's up, Yash? How you doing?" Taquan Christian in the house says, "Yo, what's up, guys?" And Alex and Sutton, appreciate you for coming through. Our guy Keeping It Real is in the building. Says, "What's going on, guys?" Shout out to Keeping It Real, man. Thank you for coming through the stream. We definitely gotta get our guy Keeping It Real back on here one day. Definitely gotta do that, man.
Season's coming up.
The whole season's coming up, man. Yeah. All right. So let's see. All right. Oh, I see some of you guys talking about Olivia Vernon. Let's make that happen. Zach Ertz still. I don't think the Ertz thing is.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Ertz.
Definitely not sold on Ertz. But okay, I think we can go ahead and switcheroo into our next topic here, which is probably the most breaking news of yesterday. We didn't get to talk about it because you guys know we do our podcast on Mondays and Thursdays. News broke yesterday that Julio Jones. Yeah. Julio Jones is now officially in the AFC. So we're going to have to deal with him at some point probably. So my question, or our question to the Reign Gang is this: will the AFC be haunted by Julio? Listen, guys, the Titans are already a good football team. Really good football team. People forget they were just in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago, you know? Yeah. So do you think that with the addition of Julio Jones, with A.J. Brown, with Derrick Henry, do you think that they are even more of a threat to the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bills, the big names, the big brands in the AFC? What do you think?
They're up there. They're a contender, but there's tiers to this contending. There's Chiefs, Bills.
Yeah.
Then that's tier 1. Tier 2, Ravens, Browns, Titans.
That's fair.
It goes Ravens, Browns, then Titans, I believe. So they're a top 5 team in the AFC. I mean, their offense is really, really good. But he said he wanted a big arm, deep quarterback. Is Ryan Tannehill that guy? I mean, and one of these insiders, they compared stats, and stats don't tell because they said like he kind of had better, slimmer stats to Patrick Mahomes. Stop that. Let's stop it, please. Don't compare Tannehill and Mahomes. They do not belong in the same sentence unless they played in the AFC Championship 2 years ago. But their offense is not even better. Really good offense. But they did lose a good tight end in Jonnu Smith. So I would like to see how they can replace him. But receiver-wise, he just got better. Now defensively, right now this looks like the Cowboys of last year. Really good offense, but a really bad defense. If their defense can be average, they'll be back in the playoffs, but they got a lot of work to do on that side of the ball.
Definitely have a lot of work to do on the defense. I mean, I wouldn't say their defense is too terrible. I mean, they did kind of hold us to 20 points in the playoffs. Then again, we don't score a lot of points in the playoffs anyway, which is a whole another issue that needs to be addressed. But, hey, man, I think that this move, bringing in Julio Jones to the Titans, it definitely moves the needle. It definitely moves the needle. Real quick, before
100%.
I get into that a little bit more, we have another Super Chat donation coming in from King Music. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for joining the stream tonight. He says, what's up, fellas? Hashtag REIGNGANG. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the entire Rain Gang, man. We love all you guys. We appreciate you guys just for coming through and supporting us. But go ahead and like the video, guys. Like the video. It helps us out a ton. And also, if you're new here tonight and you're enjoying the content so far, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we have a lot, and I mean a lot, more Ravens, sports, content coming for you guys soon and very soon. But back to Julio Jones. I think that this move actually does move the needle. And I know Ravens, I was kind of annoyed by Ravens fans yesterday.
I always am.
I was kind of annoyed because everybody was kind of like either like, oh my God, this is terrible, overrated, or people were just kind of like just downplaying Julio Jones. It's like,
and I got accused of being one of them because I made a video showing.
I saw your video,
and I got accused of basically being salty. That was never a knock on Julio. That's Julio in his prime against the Ravens secondary in 2018. Secondary we've only got better in. That was never a knock on Julio. It was just showing that like when we played him, we handled it pretty well. And I know they didn't have a Derrick Henry, but they had a Calvin Ridley. They had a Devonta Freeman before when he was still pretty good, and they had Matt Ryan. Yeah. So I didn't like being called all that, but I think we have handled him. Jimmy Smith was on him. Marlon Humphrey was on him. We had Anthony Averett as a rookie on him. So if we were to play them again, it will be a really, really good game. But I'm still worried about A.J. Brown more than Julio right now because A.J. Brown just has our numbers, it seems like.
I think, and I'm going to be honest with you here, Alex, I think the Titans stand a really good chance at, like, beating the Chiefs this season.
Do they play each other?
I'm not sure if they play each other in the regular season. Somebody verify that for me. But if they play each other in the playoffs, I feel like they would have a really, really good chance of beating them. And here's why. Everybody knows that the Kansas City Chiefs defense has been shaky. And they're not great at stopping the run. We always run all over the Chiefs until they play. They do play. I got the Titans winning that game. I got the Titans. I'm calling it right now. And I'm telling you why, because the Chiefs don't have the same secondary that the Ravens do. They don't have the luxury of throwing a Marlon Humphrey or sticking a Marcus Peters or even a Jimmy Smith or somebody like that on Julio Jones and also accommodating for A.J. Brown as well. They don't. And also, they don't have a great run defense either. So the combination of like Derrick Henry, and you can't put 8 or 9 in the box anymore because you got Julio lined up at the X on the outside. You can't do it. Okay, so you have to have help, safety help, some sort of help shading towards that side of the field at some point because Julio Jones can get hot, and when he does, you're gonna have to double him. He's gonna demand a double team. I don't know, man. I'm just thinking that they could get it done. And I know you guys are saying Tyrann Mathieu and Snead, and some of you guys saying I'm tripping, but I got the Tennessee Titans, man. I think they're really gonna take that next step, man. And the only knock that I would have on the Titans is that at this point, like we said, their defense isn't the greatest. They're gonna have to outscore teams. But I think they can play keep away pretty well with Derrick Henry, though.
Derrick Henry against the Chiefs. I mean, in 2019, the Titans beat the Chiefs in the regular season. In the playoffs, when they played them, they shut them down. Chris Jones showed what you had to do to shut down Derrick Henry. He had a touchdown, but They did a lot better containing him than we did. Looking at their roster, they have Chris Jones, they have Frank Clark, Hitchens, Willie Gay.
Yeah.
Their secondary does scare me with Charvarius Ward, L'Jarius Sneed, Rashard Fenton. They have Sorensen and Matthew and Thornhill. Their defense is average. But what makes them so good is that the best offense in the league and the best game planners in the league. But if we're going offense to offense, I'm taking the Chiefs over the Titans. But if the Titans were to get out to a lead, they would win it because they give you a nice dose of Derrick Henry.
Yeah, they would lean on him. They would lean on him. Game script and context is everything. Telling you, game script and context is everything. They get out to an early lead, they get a cheap touchdown or two, maybe get up 10. You feed Derrick Henry and make them put on their run stopping shoes. I don't care if you have Chris Jones. We're gonna keep running Derrick Henry right up the middle. We're gonna keep running Derrick Henry until he breaks free and he gets a huge gang. He breaks the back of your defense. And I think that's kind of why the Titans were able to get the better of the Chiefs in the regular season last year. And I think they're just so close. I feel like they're one of those teams that is built to beat the Chiefs. They can do it. I know they can do it. And I'm not of course, I sound like a Titans freaking fanatic right now, I feel like, but no, man. I just think that the Titans, this move actually does move the needle for them. And I think that they can take that next step this year. We have another super chat donation coming in from
they got Bud Dupree too. I forgot. I forgot they got Bud Dupree.
I forgot about that too.
Wow.
But our guy Boz coming in with the clutch with another super chat donation. He says Rodney Langford is partying right now. Shout out to Rodney Langford, man. I haven't seen him in a while, but yeah.
I know he probably was popping champagne, enjoying himself.
Oh yeah.
Good old Rodney Langford.
Good old Rodney Langford. Cam Neal says, we are built to beat the Chiefs, too. We just forget how to call run plays.
Yeah, we do.
Got a point there.
But then also, our defense also forgets how to cover and leave Sammy Watkins wide open.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Got that right, man. Let's see. Jabari Cruz Ellis says, I am not worried about the Titans with Julio Jones. The Pats did not win the Super Bowl with Randy Moss, and the Eagles did not win the Super Bowl with Terrell Owens. I'm not saying they win the Super Bowl this season, but I'm just saying they could make it back to the AFCCG. I really think they could. See,
the Eagles, man, Donovan McNabb was hung over that Super Bowl. I don't know. Have you heard that story?
On the sideline, yeah.
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 Yeah, I don't. The Moss one, I do get that. But, yeah.
Hey,
we'll see. We'll see.
But I think it's interesting. The only thing is, though, Ryan Tannehill, he's the biggest concern, right? So, like we said, game script matters. If they get into a situation where they got to throw the ball all over the field, like when they had to try to come back against us in the playoffs, Tannehill can make some mistakes. We've seen it.
We've seen it.
Firsthand, we saw it. So it's like with the ball in, I think there's more pressure. Bringing in Julio Jones puts more pressure on Ryan Tannehill. I really think it does, because it's like, hey, you have two premier weapons on both sides, and these are both, you gotta think about it. Julio Jones and AJ Brown are both receivers, archetype receivers that the Ravens fans are dying for, still dying for. That's why we wanted Julio Jones, a big body receiver who can go up, make contested catches, that sort of thing. And AJ Brown's the same way. So when you have two of those guys, there's no excuses. I feel like there should be no excuses, because those guys both have a pretty big catch radius. You don't have to be perfect. You just can't make stupid mistakes like you saw him make in that playoff game.
Okay, since we're talking about the Titans, since there has been a lot of talk about Ryan Tannehill, is he an upgrade over Matt Ryan?
You're asking me?
Yeah. I mean, it was.
No. Matt Ryan's been too consistent for too long, man. With passing yards and everything like that. He's actually been to a Super Bowl. So yeah, I wouldn't say he's an upgrade though.
Yeah, I think we're talking kind of the same. I mean, Matt Ryan should be a Super Bowl champion in my opinion. I mean, 28-3 should be right. Should be, but I shoulda, woulda, coulda. But I just saw a lot of that going on. I saw beat writers talking about Tannehill's starting to become a little bit overrated in my opinion. They're acting like he has been like a Mahomes, been like a Brady, a Rodgers. I think he threw 13 passes against the Ravens when they beat us. Yeah.
Yeah. He did not throw the ball a lot at all in that game. But, again, they didn't have to. They kind of leaned on us with the run.
Yeah. So efficiency. We talk about it. They were efficient. Not knocking them. Yeah.
And Zeke Phillips says here, I'm still not sold on Ryan Tannehill leading the Titans. When Derrick Henry gets shut down, he doesn't show up. An example is last season in the playoffs against the Ravens. Yeah, that's, what we're kind of just talking about here, man. Like, Tannehill, I don't think he's that guy where you can put the team on his back. When it comes down to it and the Titans are down 2 possessions, he has the weapons to come back. He has the weapons to, just kind of turn up and make big plays. But can he do it? This is going to be a big year for Ryan Tannehill because he's got to take that next step. If he doesn't take that next step and showing that, like, hey, I can wheel and deal all over the field, you know what I mean? I'm not just a play action guy. I can throw the ball more than 12 times a game. If he doesn't prove that he can take that next step, then I think the Titans probably start looking for their next gen quarterback. You agree?
Yeah, and then I see these stats since 2019. He's second in passer rating, 110. He's first in yards per pass attempt, 8.55, and he's second in touchdown per pass attempt percentage, 7.2. Out of the 32 quarterbacks who have thrown 500 plus passes. So I'm just like, I'm really not convinced on Ryan Tannehill. Like, people are treating him like he's a god. In 10 years, when I'm telling my kids about quarterbacks, you know who I will not be telling them about? Ryan Tannehill. I would tell them over Matt Ryan over Ryan Tannehill. Yeah. Joe Flacco over Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, most def.
Yeah. So.
All right. JTV brings up an interesting question here. He says, "Well, what matchups do you got? Marlon on AJ Brown and Peters on Julio, or Marlon on Julio and Peters on Brown? What do you think?"
Jimmy Smith on Julio. Marlon on AJ Brown.
Vet on vet.
Yeah. I mean, Jimmy did a great job on him. Marlon did a great job on him. Anybody did, but I don't want Peters on him. I'd rather have Peters on somebody like AJ Brown.
Really?
AJ Brown has no catches on Marcus Peters.
Well, Marlon, we saw in that playoff game he was kind of roasting Marlon Humphrey like in that first half, and
then we put Jimmy Smith on AJ Brown, and it was
it was seatbelt clicking.
But that's the luxury of the Ravens secondary, though, and hopefully Anthony Avery takes that next step. And we have Sean Wade, Tavon Young. I love it.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Jonathan Washington Jr. says Marlon Humphrey on AJ Brown, combination of Marcus and Jimmy Smith on Julio. Yeah, I mean, like we said before, we saw Marlon on AJ Brown. I mean, maybe Marlon might want that matchup back.
I think he does.
Look
at Juju. Yeah. Look at that Week 5 game in 2019 with Juju when he kind of shoved him off. It's overtime, punches that ball out.
Yeah,
I would take Marlon on AJ Brown again.
Yeah, and maybe he'll force a fumble on AJ Brown. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Me personally, I think Marlon Humphrey is the best cornerback in the league. But that's just me, just based off of what he does. Turnovers, forcing turnovers, all this. That's a different story for a different day. You know, big shout out to Marlon Humphrey. But yeah, let's see. So, K. Marxo says, I still think AJ Brown pushed off on that touchdown. Yeah,
they had to give him some hope.
Yeah, it was close. I feel like he pushed off too, but I can see why they let that go. All right. So I think that is what else do you guys have to say about Julio Jones in here? Guys, make sure if you are not watching the live stream and you are part of the hashtag Replay Gang, you leave your comments down below so we can get to you guys as well.
And if you're watching and you haven't, give us a thumbs up. Just a little like says helps out a lot.
The video.
Please.
Thank you. All right. Christopher Swain says, the great thing about our defense is we create different matchups. One play you got Humphrey, then Jimmy, then Peters. You have different guys with different skill sets covering you. Yeah, I mean, you get different looks. You can't get comfortable with a guy and kind of get used to what he likes to do so you can kind of take advantage of that. No. Wink Martindale's a genius. Sorry, buddy. Like, he's going to switch these guys around and, he's going to make it a hard time on you at all times. So 100%. Another thing, big shout out to Wink Martindale. We don't talk about him nearly enough. It's just, let's not take Wink Martindale for granted because he is truly an excellent defensive
I'll take him over Dean Pease.
Yeah, I would too.
Dean Pease, cover 2, prevent with like 3 minutes left. Let's not go back to that.
Yeah. Let's see. Jonathan Washington Jr. also says Julio could play like Miles Boykin next year. His name and resume alone will make defenses pay attention and account for him. That's the biggest reason I wanted the Ravens to take their shot.
Yeah. I'm just happy we don't play them 2 times a year. We don't play them next year. So
right. Yeah.
And the next time we'll possibly see them. Yeah, maybe the year after, but hopefully they don't make the playoffs. That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah. Shoot, hopefully we make the playoffs.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. All right. Joshua Edwards gives a thumbs up. Like the video, guys. Like the video. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. I think we're very close to 1,400 subscribers. We were only like 10 away the last time I checked. So maybe we can get to 1,400 tonight. I don't know. But yeah, Malo226 says, what up, Rain Gang? What up, Malo?
What's up,
appreciate you for coming through the stream tonight. But yeah. You have anything else on Julio Jones, Alex? Like, any other thoughts on him?
I'm not a Julio hater. I would have liked the Ravens to get him. So don't call me a Julio hater. If you did, thank you.
I mean, it really just changes the whole. I wouldn't say it changes the whole landscape of the AFC, but it definitely makes it a lot more competitive. The AFC is so much competitive, dude.
Compared to the NFC, it's so much more competitive. I truly believe that.
Like it's getting bad now.
And especially if Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay and goes to Denver. Come on.
Oh, my goodness. Come on, man. It'll be just stacked in the AFC's favor, man. Because what are off the top of your head, Alex, what are the top 5 teams in the NFC?
Packers, Bucks, Seahawks.
Packers, Bucks, Seahawks. So those are top 3 right there. And then in the AFC.
Saints aren't anymore. They would have, but they aren't anymore.
Right.
But AFC.
Who else he put in there?
Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Browns, now Titans. Steelers are up there.
So Chiefs, Bills, Ravens versus Packers, Seahawks, and what was the other team you said?
The Bucks. Bucks,
right. The champs, Bucks. Right, of course.
Yeah.
Somebody said the Rams. Bruh said the Rams. Maybe. I don't know.
We'll see.
But I got the AFC definitely.
If Julio went to the Rams, I would have put him up there 100%.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I honestly, I wanted Julio, if he didn't come to Baltimore, I wanted him to go to Seattle. Because I would love to see like Lockett, Metcalf, and Julio. That would have been so nasty.
Yeah.
A little bit more competition on there. But.
Yep. But AFC, it's stacked. It's stacked to say the least.
And then you never know with the Chargers. I'm pretty high on the Chargers this year. I think they can be really good.
Very promising team. Very promising young team there in the Chargers. So we'll see what happens with that, guys. I'm sure there will be more signings and trades and things like that to go down in the next couple of days and weeks to come. And, of course, we have actual training camp that is coming up soon and very soon as well. So, of course, we'll be covering that too. Now, I think let's talk about some little tidbits.
Okay.
You want to talk about our guy Tony Jefferson?
Yeah, one of my favorite Ravens. I was gonna wear his jersey today. He actually he got picked up. He was out of the NFL last year, rehabbing that terrible ACL injury, which occurred in Week 5 of the 2019 season against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Think about how long ago that was.
I know.
That was the last time he stepped foot on an NFL field. So on a 1-year deal with the Niners. So best of luck to Tony. I loved him here. I mean, he had his mistakes, but all in all, great teammate, great leader, and was part of some pretty good defenses here. Any other moves, I'd say? No?
I don't think there are any other big splash moves or anything like that. Let's go ahead. We can transition to something a little bit different, right? Alex, you saw the fight last night, right?
I indeed did.
Saw the fight. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because it was pretty interesting. And Rain Gang, I hope you guys saw the fight. The fight we're talking about is the Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather fight that took place last night in Miami. It was interesting to say the least. It was interesting. A lot of people thought it was
all around
boring.
Well, not the show in general, because why would you schedule outside arena in Florida with the rain? Like, I know they had to stop the one because they had to go and wipe it down. I was like, if it rains, they could try to move this thing. Did you watch like early in the fights or no? Just like the main?
Just the main one for the most part.
Okay, so yeah, I watched all of it. They had to keep on wiping down the ring like mid of the boxing matches. Did you watch the Ocho Cinco one?
I saw highlights from that one. I saw him land like a good right hand, and I saw him get dropped as well. Him getting dropped was like the funniest thing I saw yesterday. Just like knowing Chad Ochocinco and like knowing how like, you know, just outgoing and just how loud he is and everything like that. Just seeing him get dropped and then like getting back up and like, oh yeah, you got me good, man. He's like, yeah, you got me good. That had me like geeked, man. So yeah, but
let's talk about the main thing. The main thing. And then JTV, I did not pay for it. Crack Streams, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Don C real quick says, nice guys, 68 in the chat, 62 likes. Let's keep that like meter going up, guys. Like the video if you have not already. Tell a friend to tell a friend. But listen, man, I think that of course it was a shit show. It was a shit show. Like in its natural state, it's a shit show. Like it's a circus at the end of the day. You have a YouTuber who is winless in his boxing career fighting the best boxer of all time. So we all know that this is like a circus thing, but me personally, I was very excited going into the fight. I was very excited to watch. I don't know why, but it's just like,
what was your favorite part of it?
Honestly, just right before the fight started. I would say my favorite part was like the end of round 1 when like Logan Paul thought he had Floyd hurt and was just like throwing wild punches.
Oh my!
Like
that was terrible. See, my favorite part wasn't even the fight. My favorite part was Migos and Moneybagg Yo performing. Honestly.
Oh yeah, and the walkout.
And I was like, yeah. Compared to the fight, and I still think. Did you see the clip where Floyd hit Logan in the face and he was gonna fall, and he kind of caught him? Yeah.
Yeah.
There was never gonna be a knockout. Because both of them, I bet you, like if it went the full distance, that's more money.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
That's true, because it did seem like he tagged him like right behind the ear. And for those of you guys who don't know, if you get hit behind the ear, that's kind of like a soft spot. You can definitely get knocked out very easily getting hit there. So he hit him there, and then you could see his body did kind of go limp. Yeah. And like Floyd kind of held him up a little bit, and then he kind of came to, and they kept going. But that was crazy. The whole thing was crazy. Like I said, the funniest part was when Logan Paul thought he had him rocked in the end of round 1.
Yeah.
And it was just like he was just like trying to wail on him. Like, bro, this is not like a high school fight at the cafeteria. Like it's not like that, my guy. This is Floyd Money Mayweather. You have him shelling up. So it's like, why are you trying to like hit him where he's?
This is the greatest boxer of all time.
Right, like don't try to hit him where he has his defenses at. Like I want it more up the middle, like more jabs, like more uppercuts. Give him more to think about, Like he was just trying to like get him out of there. Like you're not gonna get Floyd Mayweather out of there that early, bro. It's just not gonna happen. So, and Logan Paul, of course, he didn't deserve, like in the terms of like being a boxer, a professional boxer, he didn't deserve to really be fighting Floyd Mayweather. But it's a spectacle because like in this day and age of like social media and stuff like that, all you really want is like clicks. All you want is something like something, I don't even know what I'm trying to say here, but like just something that like people who have clout, watching them fight, it's like totally, it's entertaining. It's entertaining. You have to give. I
don't like what it's done to the sport. Right? Like how the whole TikTok versus YouTube thing. I don't like that. That they're making boxing a meme at that point. You know what I mean?
The problem I think is that like with boxing, of course, it's been years. You have to come up from the bottom and be as professional as possible and kind of work your way up. And nowadays, people can, like Jake Paul, people like Logan Paul, who got their popularity off of YouTube or just the internet, they can like promote their own fights on their own, use their own fan base to kind of fund it, and people are mad at it. And it's like, you can't be mad at that. Like, at the end of the day, a boxing match is a fight. And a fight is a competition between two men or two women to see who can outwill the other person. It's like the most basic, the most simplest, barbaric way to kind of solve a problem. Like, I don't like you, you don't like me, let's fight. You know what I mean? Let's see who can disable each other first. That's what people want to see. It's a spectacle. So like seeing like Logan Paul fight a Floyd Mayweather, it's entertaining. That's why you watch. That's why I watch. That's why a lot of people watching us right now watched that fight last night, because it's entertaining. And you can't be mad at that,
But you know what we didn't do?
We didn't pay for it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
We know better than that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just it was a joke, and I was like, oh, he might finish him this round. He might. And then after like, so I was like, okay, they're not going to finish each other. We get it. We know what this is. And then right after it ended, I just switched and watched the USA soccer game. So
yeah, I saw you tweeting about that too.
Yeah, USA beat Mexico for like some cup. So hey, U.S. soccer could be making a World Cup here soon. Pretty happy about that.
I would love to see that. I love U.S. Soccer, men's and women's. Milo226 says, hats off to Logan Paul. He did a great job for a guy who has not had a pro or amateur fight at all.
What do you think about this?
I still think Floyd let him off the hook. Like we talked about, there did seem to be like a time where he hurt him and kind of went limp a little bit. We could be wrong. We could be wrong. But that is what it looked like cosmetically. Now, Logan Paul, yes, you do got to give him his props. You got to give him his props. At the end of the day, he went 8 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. How many guys do you know could go 8 rounds with Floyd Mayweather? Because I don't know any guys that can go 8 rounds with Floyd, Money Mayweather. So you gotta tip the cap to him, man. You gotta tip the cap. And he went out there and he was like throwing a lot of shots. I think he threw like over 200 punches. Only landed like 28 of them.
Yeah.
But like he threw over 200 punches.
Swinging.
So he really went out
Eyes
there.
closed, just swinging.
Yeah, he really went out there and did his thing, man. So, and he talked about that in the post fight press conference, not press conference, but like the interview, like right after the fight while he was in the ring. He was like, "Hey, man, I went 8 rounds with like the best of all time. Nobody can take that away from me." And it's like he's right. He's right about that. Nobody can take that away from him. But what do you think about the whole like building up the next fight for Floyd Mayweather to fight Jake Paul, his younger brother, who is actually winning boxing matches?
Stop giving these clowns attention. That's all. It's like, that's cool. It's exhibition, but like I said, Jake beat some homeless man from a gas station they picked up. He beat some washed up FIFA YouTuber, and he beat a former NBA player who honestly looked like what the hell he was doing. Mickey Mouse win after Mickey Mouse win after Mickey Mouse win. I'm gonna call it the way I see it. And this upcoming, like, I'm sorry he hasn't fought a boxer, so like. He isn't even the king of YouTube boxing, so I want to see him fight KSI.
He's built such a huge brand, though. It's like he can fight anybody he wants at this point. Like he fought Nate Robinson, that kind of put him on the map. Then he beat Ben Askren, and now he's fighting another UFC fighter, Tyron Woodley. If he beats him, listen, I'm telling you right now, Alex. If Jake Paul beats Tyron Woodley, I'm on board. I'm on board with the whole Jake Paul, the Paul brothers train. I'm on board because I've seen what Tyron Woodley could do, and I feel like Tyron Woodley should be able to knock Jake Paul clean out. Should be able to knock his head off his shoulders.
Is it Triller?
I've seen him do it before.
Is it Triller?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's on.
Notice whenever it's Triller, they win. When it's not Triller, Logan Paul. Leave it at that.
So you think something's going on there, like with Triller? It's like fixed.
Like I said. I think UFC, like the hits you take, how is Ben Askren taking all them hits, bleeding, and still won that fight, but can't take one hit?
Yeah. Definitely fishy. It's definitely fishy, man. I'm just like, when I saw that, I was one of the first ones to be like, yeah, I don't believe that. I'm not buying that at all. But, hey, man, at the end of the day, it's something that is entertaining. Like I said before, that's why we watched it, because it's entertaining, and a lot of people are talking about it. These guys have clout. They also have money, so they can afford to do it, And to all of like the younger boxers who are like coming up and like actually training their ass off every day in the gym, and they're seeing like Jake Paul and Logan Paul kind of.
That's another thing.
Like, I understand that that's like very disheartening, but at the end of the day, with the whole internet era and the age of that going on, that's the way that boxing is going, man. That's the way it's going. That's where the money's at. You see how much money both Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather made last night. Like, celebrity boxing is next up.
Yeah. I mean, I saw this. My last kind of just talking about it. Somebody said that it was more entertaining than the Conor McGregor Mayweather fight.
No.
Stay off the weed.
No.
That person was Des Bryant. Des Bryant. We love you, but stay off the weed, man.
Stay off the weed, bro. Yeah, there's no way. That was actually a pretty good fight, pretty competitive fight up until Conor McGregor got tired and Floyd took over, which is the same thing that happened last night. Yeah. But yeah, let's see. Quick one says
the Mayweather and McGregor, like that one, like we paid for it. I was fine with that. That was a hell of a, and I think Gervonta Davis was an undercard too. So I was like, just that fight was real. Last night was a joke, and that's why I'll stream it for free because it doesn't work. It's not worth our money.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. Like that's where they have it. That's where they have it messed up. Like I'm not gonna pay to watch like two people who aren't professionals. You know, I'll pay for professional, acting. I'll pay for professional, music. I'll pay for professional this and that or whatever, high quality stuff. But when it's like something that's kind of cheap and it's kind of put in front of me, yes, it's entertaining. But at the end of the day, like it's not like satisfying that fix for like, okay, I'm admiring what these guys are doing. I'm admiring months and years of preparation and hard work and training for what these guys are doing here. And you don't feel that way with Logan Paul. So it just feels like, okay, I want to watch, but if I feel like I paid for this, I feel like I'd be cheated out of my money. And that's what a lot of people were saying. Even Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson tweeted about it last night. He was like, he put the facepalm emoji on Twitter and everything after the fight. He was very disappointed, just like the rest of us. But hey, man, wouldn't pay money for it. But at the end of the day, it is pretty good entertainment. Yeah. So, let's see. Cam Neal says, I will say the Paul brothers could be putting just as much work in. It's just a different path. He's paying for all his stuff anyway. Yeah, I mean, those kids have money, man. And they've been getting money for years off of YouTube. Yeah. So, and let's see. Click One says, Tyron Woodley is damn near 40. He's just in shape. I'm still not on board if Jake beats him. Nah, man. I've seen what Tyron Woodley can do, man. I know he's lost his last 4 fights, but this is against a Jake Paul. This isn't against absolute killers in the UFC. So I've got Tyron Woodley. There. All right. So
when's that fight? August?
I'm not exactly sure the date. Honestly, okay. I'd have to look that up. Yeah. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and move on from that topic, and we will go ahead and kick off our REIGNGANG Q&A. REIGNGANG Q&A, where you guys can ask us.
We talked about a lot. We talked about kind of anything questions would.
We did. We talked about a lot today, but now it's time for the official REIGNGANG questions and answer segment where you guys watching, the live viewers, or hashtag the replay gang, if you comment down below, hello, by the way, guys, you guys can let us know what questions you have for us, whether it be about Ravens football, whether it be about other teams in the NFL, whether it be about other sports, whether it be about life, food, music, anything that you want to ask. Simply AS10 and Sutton Def, you can do that now in the live chat or in the comment section down below. And I know last time you said that you wanted to do a couple questions yourself. I'm not sure if you had any.
Yeah. I can go quick one. I was just watching a bunch of old Ravens games, and I kind of thought, remember when we had Patrick Owasso and Kenny Young as our linebackers, and we re-signed Josh Bynes and LJ Fort? If there were to be an injury, could you see us maybe re-signing Patrick Owasso? I'm talking about maybe to a Chris Board or to an LJ Fort. He's a free agent. He knows the defense. I mean, could you see that happening? That's kind of all I really got.
Ooh, I didn't know he was a free agent, because where did he go originally? The Jets. Right. Yeah, man, I could definitely see that happening. You get somebody in here who, like you said, already knows the system. You'll probably get him in here on a pretty good deal as well. And Peanut was a good player. He was a good player.
The peanut punch.
Exactly. The fruit punch. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. I could see that happening, man. And I would like that. All right.
Josh Bynes is a free agent too. Oh. I mean, there's still options out there, but we can say
definitely still options. And I know Eric DaCosta is not done yet. We're not done yet. All right. So let's see. We have another question coming in from Christopher Swain. Says Peanut was a dog. Yeah, he was really good, man. Another question coming in from our guy Void's got to give us a question each and every time. He says, 3 meals, 1 you have to eat only for the rest of your life, 1 you can eat but only on celebrations and holidays, and 1 must be wiped from history: chicken and waffles, steak and eggs, or bacon and eggs.
What? Oh, so that's the 3? That's the 3?
I guess that's the 3 there. 1 you have to eat only for the rest of your life.
Rest of my life, waffle, steak. Only on celebrations and holidays, chicken and waffles. And then white from history for me, the eggs, because I don't eat eggs unless it's in fried rice. That's easy for me.
For me, wiped from history, steak and eggs, because I've never been a fan of like steak and eggs as a combination. In terms of for the rest of my life, I'll probably go chicken and waffles, because that means I can get like breakfast food and dinner food in one, and I can kind of pick and choose there. So, and then one for only celebrations and holidays. What is it?
Oh, I didn't know it was steak and eggs. Yeah, I'll take steak, but the eggs, no. And then the bacon and eggs can go. So, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. And celebration of holidays, bacon and eggs for me.
Yeah.
But, all right, let's see. Next question comes in from our guy, Christopher Swain. He says, LaDainian Tomlinson said that Derrick Henry is the modern-day Jim Brown. Do we agree or disagree?
I'm a big Jim Brown fan, if you didn't know. Big Jim Brown fan. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think he could be. Jim Brown
Talk
didn't
about power backs, yeah.
He'd run you over. Power backs, Jamal Lewis is one of them, too.
Yeah, but I feel like Jim Brown, Jamal Lewis, those guys, I feel like they hit the hole a lot harder than Derrick Henry does. See, Derrick Henry, he feeds off of momentum. You know, like he has to really get going. I mean, am I wrong?
I'd say no.
You saw what happened. You saw what happened in the wild card game when he couldn't get going, when he couldn't really get those legs moving. He wasn't doing much. You get to his legs. I mean, bro, I don't want to say he has chicken legs because he's still a big man. But like, if you get to his legs, you can take him down. You can take Derrick Henry down, man. A lot of those other guys, you will bounce right off their legs easily. So yeah. All right. Bryce H comes in with another question. Says, who are y'all top 3 favorite rappers? That's a good one. That's a good question. For me, I'm a favorite. We're talking top 3 favorite rappers.
Favorite.
I'm gonna go, and this might sound very generic, but I'm gonna go number 3. I'm gonna go Kendrick Lamar. Number 2, I'm gonna go Kanye West. And number 1, I'm gonna go Drake.
I'm going Nav, and Nav. I'm playing.
Oh, God.
Nav isn't bad. This Nav slander needs to stop, okay? But Travis Scott, Kanye West, and right now, I'll be honest, Jack Harlow. Really, really like Jack Harlow.
Is Jack Harlow really still like? I mean, has he put out music recently?
Not from his past album, but he's hopped on a couple of features. But just his album in general.
Features?
Yeah, I'm biased. And I think
I haven't really heard too much from Jack Harlow other than when he's with Drewski.
Did you see that video though? Life sure is sweet when you live like this. That that they need to have a show together. And I would watch it.
That going. Yeah, man, Jack and Drewski, that would be genius right there.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, those are our top 3 favorite rappers. Let's see. K-Dog says, would you take CJ Mosley back?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, man. CJ Mosley was nice. He was nice.
Because I think, I'm going to say this now, I think when LJ Ford is gone, I think we could get CJ Mosley. I believe after this year, his cap hit goes down. The Jets could release him because they signed him to a 5-year, $85 million deal. I think he could be back in Baltimore, be like another Pernell McPhee. And I would take him like that. 100%.
Let's see. Yeah, definitely would too. Thank you so much, K-Dog, for your question there. I have another question coming in from Don C. Says, why won't the Ravens bring Houston back? And are you guys good with Sack Daddy or Snack Daddy rushing the quarterback?
I'm good. I don't know why we haven't. Is it money? We think it's money?
I don't know. It was interesting today. I saw Jeff Zrebiec tweet that a lot of people were asking him about, okay, how's the cap looking after us, extending Gus Edwards and signing Jawan James, and he was like, the Ravens actually gained a little bit of cap space, making those moves. I'm like, okay, all right. So I mean, hey,
$800K, I believe.
Yeah, I think we can make that move. I think everything happens for a reason. EDC is trying to still keep the cap space, good enough, at least good enough or open enough to maybe go out and sign a veteran pass rusher. Maybe it's a Justin Houston. Maybe we're still in talks with him on the low.
Melvin Ingram.
Don't know. Melvin Ingram. Somebody. Somebody. But Jalen Ferguson rushing the passer.
See, anything the Ravens put out of their guys talking, this is not a knock to the Ravens. I really can't believe it that much because there's a bias there. And they're great at what they do, all of them. But them saying, oh, he's looking good. I heard that with Rashad Perryman. I heard that with Jeremy Maclin. I heard it with Carl Davis. I heard it with Chris Wormley. I heard it with all of these players before. So, if these beat writers start saying it, then we'll start believing it.
Yeah. All right. So, let's see. Void says, would you rather have to tackle Tyree Phillips or Derrick Henry?
Tyree, go for the legs. He'll trip over himself.
He'll trip over himself. Yeah, I'm going to go with Tyree Phillips.
That was the issue because Miles Jack tried to tackle him like above the waist. That's a big boy. Go for the legs.
He got knocked back like 5 yards. All right. So let's see. Next question we have here comes from, Juan Gotti says, Nicki Minaj or Cardi B?
Nicki Minaj. Any day of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Nicki Minaj too. She's just a lot more longevity. I feel like she's giving us more genres, She's given us the pop. She's given us the rap. She's given us
the R&B.
And that's not to say that Cardi hasn't, but Nicki kind of revolutionized it in a way, for the 2010s. She's been doing it since like
2008, 2009, for years.
She's been doing it for a while. So, all right. Let's see. All right. So Jason really has another question. It says, since Julio Jones is not on our team, do you both think we'll keep Hollywood, Sammy Watkins, Devin Duvernay, Rashad Bateman, Tylan Wallace, and Miles Boykin? Put Prochet and Kane on the practice squad.
I think so. We could keep Prochet, I think. But I think if he is on the practice squad, he will get picked up like that. The only way I can see him making it, Prochet, is special teams. Same with Boykin, too. I want to see something in special teams.
Yeah. Agreed there. All right. Let's see. Click One says over or under 35 passing touchdowns for Lamar Jackson this season. Also over or under 9 interceptions for Lamar Jackson. I think he throws 34 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. How about y'all?
Ooh.
That's a pretty good prediction. Click One.
I think 36-9. So over, and I'll take the even for the interceptions.
So 36 passing touchdowns will match what he did in 2019, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think he has better weapons than he did.
He does. Much better weapons now. Much better weapons. So, but it's still hard for me, man. It's still hard for me to say he's going to throw over 35 touchdown passes because that would assume that he has multiple Jackson 5s like he did in 2019.
I'm cool with that. And
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with it. But
I think one's going to happen against the Bengals this year. The Bengals are going to get hit with a Jackson 5.
Any other teams you think could get hit with a Jackson 5?
You know what? Week 1 Raiders, because their fans are talking absolutely reckless. They're like, oh, we're underestimating them because the Saints did this last year. The Saints had my grandfather quarterback with Drew Brees. I think my grandfather can throw the bar farther than Drew Brees.
Right.
We are not the Saints. Look what we do in week 1. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but Lamar could put up 5. So just be wary. Be wary.
You heard it here first, folks, on the Purple Rain podcast. Make sure you subscribe for that prediction, man, because I feel like that could definitely come true week 1 against the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas. So,
yes.
All right. Let's see. Another question. Adit Mahmood with another question says, which wide receiver was the biggest winner of the Ravens not trading Julio Jones? Or trading for him? I would say Prochet because Deion Kane could perform better than Boykin.
I think Boykin was.
Why do you guys, real quick, why do you guys put the S on the end of Boykin, Miles Boykin?
Yeah,
Everybody
confused
does
with
that. Like, it's Miles Boykin. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody says Boykins.
It's a little pet peeve of mine, I'll be honest. Because I'm like, it's Boykin. I'm like, it's on his jersey. Like...
But, yeah, he says, I would say Prochet because Deion Kane could perform better than Boykin.
I'm going.
Yeah, I agree. I could agree with that. I mean, Prochet, he's at the bottom of the totem pole, unfortunately, when it comes to, like, our wide receiving core. Those who are actually going to probably make the starting roster. or the final roster. But I feel like he was the biggest winner because if we get Julio, that kind of makes even less room.
Yeah.
You know, he would have fell out.
I'll go Prochet then Boykin.
Yeah. All right, another question. This one comes from Jason Ridley. Says, once again, Sutton, I could tell earlier that's not a pink Apple Watch band.
Calling you out. He's calling you out.
Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct. I switched it up. This is the all black. Rocking the all black tonight. So
he's switching up on you.
Yeah, you know. All right. Darius, the official, says, do you guys see us making a big trade during the season if we aren't doing well?
I hope we're doing well.
Known for making moves during the season. Yeah.
We traded for Peters when we were what? 4-2, 5-2?
Yeah.
Wait, we were 5. Because we were 4-2. Because we started up, we won 2, lost 2, then won 2 by week. No, then we had Seattle by week, then New England. Yeah,
because I think we had played the Chiefs like week 3, and then like 2 weeks after that we had them. We got them, right?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
So, but and Ngakoue middle of the season last year.
Yeah. Ngakoue.
But I hope we were above 500 both of the years. So we will improve at the trade deadline. How impactful that player is, we don't know. Could be a backup lineman, could be a backup safety, backup. We don't know.
Yeah. So we'll take a couple more here before we close out for the night. Malo226 says, who has a better season, Rashad Bateman or Sammy Watkins? Interesting.
Rashad Bateman. I think he'll play more. He'll play more than Watkins. Yeah.
So you think that Lamar Jackson will take a liking to Rashad Bateman faster than he will Sammy Watkins? 2 of his new weapons in the receiving corps.
I think because our expectations for Watkins are higher than Bateman's. Because we are so used to just mediocrity, I'd say, for rookie receivers outside of Hollywood Brown. And even his rookie year, he wasn't fully healthy. But Bateman's fully healthy. I think we're maybe expecting, for me, I'm expecting 500 yards, 5 touchdowns, just being honest. But if you can get maybe 750, maybe 8 touchdowns, and if Watkins had the same stat line, that's better for Bateman.
Yeah. Agreed there. Agreed. Let's see. Another question coming in from Pix3XTV says, what is your favorite cut of steak and how do you like it done?
All of them in medium rare at medium. Like I love them all.
Yeah, man. I really like filet mignon. I've tried New York strip as well, but filet mignon is actually pretty good. And I like my steak cooked medium. So it's right in the middle. I like to see a little bit of red in there because that's where you get the flavor. You know what I mean? If you're getting your steak cooked well done, you're doing it wrong. Just like
if you like it rare, just bite the cow.
Yeah. If you're on either of those sides of the spectrum, on the extreme, you're doing it wrong.
Seek mental health.
All right, so let's see. We'll take maybe 1 or 2 more here. Void says Tom Thibodeau or Greg Popovich. I know Tom Thibodeau just won Coach of the Year, so big shout out to Tom Thibodeau. But for my money, I'm taking Greg Popovich.
And I'm a Bulls fan. Greg Popovich by 1,000.
I'm going Pop. But yeah.
Pop.
All right. And our guy Gerald. Gerald's in the building. Says, what up, Ravens Nation?
Can we play? I think he's earned it. Can we just play it real quick for Gerald?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Bro, Gerald is always coming in clutch, man.
Pulls up 3-pointer. Bang!
Yeah. Wins
the game at the buzzer.
So clutch, man. That was a long time coming just for you, Gerald, because man. We appreciate you as always for coming through. All right, let's see.
We were at 69 likes. Can we get to 75 before we head out? 6 more?
Can we do that?
Lob 6?
Like the video. Lob 6, guys. Like the video. Tell a friend to tell a friend. All right. And now we will go ahead and take one more question. And this one is going to come from... We'll take this one from James Hinkles.
Okay.
Says, is this finally Jimmy Smith's last year with Averett coming into his own and the other depth we have at DB such as Iman Marshall, Sean, and Wade?
I hope not.
Sean Wade.
I really hope not. I think he can rock with one more year after this, depending how he is health-wise. But when he's on the field, he's our most consistent corner. Love Jimmy Smith. He's so just undervalued, underrated, and just undervalued by Ravens fans because he's so good. And when he's in the field, we're a much better defense.
Much better. Yeah, absolutely. Him. Also, of course, we're hoping we can get Tavon Young back as well. Yes. Fingers crossed, right? But yeah, I think we would want to keep Jimmy. I feel like he should retire a Raven for sure.
Yeah, he should be a Raven his whole life.
Yeah, 100%. He should definitely retire a Raven, man. All right.
Man, he's one of the few remaining from the Super Bowl. 47. So come on.
Yeah. And Jason really says we need Jimmy Smith for big man, tall guy purposes.
Exactly.
I agree. And Pix3EX TV says Jimmy does so much on the field that people don't see, and I'm not even a Ravens fan. I'm glad you guys are noticing this because Jimmy Smith is definitely overlooked and underrated in every sense of the word. So we will leave it there for tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming through and watching this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast.
76 likes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you guys. You guys are amazing, man. We love the Rain Gang. Yes. Big shout out to you guys. It's been a good one. Episode 55, the T Sizzle.
A lot longer than I expected. A lot longer.
Yeah. Doesn't it always happen that way?
Love to see it.
I know, right? I know. And we're in the thick of the off season. The thick of
the news off season. But look at this. We have news. So that's just a blessing in itself, man. And we appreciate you guys for just rocking out with us for 55 episodes, man. I was watching episode 4 the other day. I was rewatching and I was like, what were we talking about? Was it a game?
Yeah. I can't even remember which game it was, but I was just
Patriots?
Might have been the Patriots game. I'd have to go back and look again, but I just remember myself saying like, this is episode 4 of the Purple Rain Podcast, and now we're on 55. And this has been like such a journey just already, and we haven't even gotten to we haven't even done a whole full season yet.
I'm just letting you know when the season comes, just be ready.
Yeah. Be ready. Purple Rain Podcast.
And a lot of our viewers weren't there with us during the season. We're talking fantasy football. We're talking predictions. We're talking sometimes live reactions. Like we were watching the Monday night game, Steelers Washington live reaction.
Yeah,
it's like, just get ready.
Get ready, because there's a lot coming from the Purple Rain Podcast. So make sure you hit that subscribe button up top, and also be sure to follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. If you don't feel like typing it in, you can just scan this QR code on top of me here, and it'll take you right to it. So this has been episode 55 of the Purple Rain Podcast. We appreciate you guys for coming through. Don C says, thanks, Sutton and Alex. No, thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate every single one of you. Thank you.
We appreciate you guys for coming through tonight. Click One says, the Warp Away Wadcast.
Hey,
yes,
okay.
All W's over here. So big shout out to you
Jameis
guys.
Winston.
Right, we're eating W's over here. And you can go ahead and take us out, bro.
Thank you for coming through to episode 55 of the Purple Rain Podcast. And as always, hope you guys have a great week. See you on Thursday. And stay positive. And there's been a whole lot of testing negative around here, so let's keep on testing negative. What do you have to say?
Like he said, man, stay positive, test negative, and also, like Boy says, call God. We're going to catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.